everybody. Welcome back to the Nibiru channel. It is October 16th, 2016. Last night, I was a special guest on the Front Porch Radio Show on iHeartRadio. And ladies and gentlemen, they are trying to silence me. They do not want the truth to come out about Planet X. But I am delivering the truth. So stay tuned and listen to the broadcast. This will be a series of videos, so watch them all.
Yesterday and today in Montana for some reason, and I don't know what kind of rockets they're testing, but like this article is reading, the only rockets, because NASA don't have any exploratory rockets in that region, the only rockets in that region are nuclear rockets in missile silos. So, you know, okay, but let me change gears a minute before we get back to Nibiru, because now that we're in the third hour, I want to let our listeners know what's coming in the near future, because that's what they're really hungry for. And before we get there, I want to run this up your flagpole and see if you salute it too, because at the beginning of our talk, you had mentioned how you think that this talk of nuclear war is just a facade to kind of keep us occupied and our minds away from what they're really doing behind the scenes. And, you know, I would kind of agree with that in the realm if we didn't have such a touchy election. You know, we see so much under the table deals of them trying to rob the election away from Trump and to get passed and done what they want done. We know for a fact that, you know, the one world order is rising, and there's people that are waking up, and they're aware of that as well, and they want to create all out chaos. So my question to you is, that is a good theory that I've kind of been you know, tossing around this hour we've been talking, because the Bible talks about there will be wars and rumors of wars. Okay, so that means that there will be wars, but there will also just be rumors of wars. So if we look at it in the physical sense today, we have actual wars going on. We've got Yemen, we've got Aleppo in Syria, we've got Damascus, we've got the battles in the Middle East. So we have the wars going on. So the Bible says there's also going to be rumors of wars. And we're hearing rumors of wars from North Korea, the nuclear war with Russia. So it's very plausible that this nuclear event is just the rumor part of the wars and rumors of wars. You follow what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So with that being the case, let me ask you this. These events that's coming upon the earth, there's going to be radiation in them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there's going to be radioactivity in our waters. We know that the Bible says that wormwood, it will be a star that falls called wormwood, and it's going to poison a third of the rivers and a third of the waters. And it will be bitter to men, and they will die when they drink these waters. So to me, that sounds like radiation, because meteors carry radiation. So this talk in this buildup to nuclear war and this executive order that they have just passed about a solar situation that's going to come upon the earth, that's just going to cause all kinds of distress and catastrophes, that they need to go ahead and get implementation in place. They need to get things in order so that the government can come in after this and then take over everything and control the world so that people will have refuge and food and whatnot. So my question is, now that we know they're showing us this, oh, it could be nuclear war. Oh, there's global warming because cows are farting in fields. But, but yet, but yet, I mean, that's what they're telling us on the news. But under everything and hidden in the darkness, they're saying, we've got a solar storm coming. Here's the executive order to prove it. So with this solar event that's going to take place, could it represent what nuclear war would actually produce?
I believe so. I believe you're definitely onto something there.
Okay, so, could they be just shouting from the mountaintops, oh, we're about to go to war with Russia, it's going to go nuclear, nuclear's on the table, knowing that these events are going to happen. And then when they start happening, though, instead of blaming it on a solar event, blame it on, say, Russia just attacked us, or we attacked Russia, if these solar events come into Russia. Because you said on the last show, and I've heard other people talk about, they are pretty much saying it's either going to come in on Russia or it's going to come in on the United States when all of these things really start hitting us next year.
That is correct. Now, I think that it would probably be impossible to say and give that type of timing. But if you just split the earth right in half, take two of the biggest land masses and countries, you would have the United States on one side of the globe, and then you'd have Russia on the other side of the globe. Now, you just saw what Russia did last week. I mean, they did the biggest drill of 40 million people?
Yeah. They
went in bunkers?
Yeah, they sent them to bunkers to prepare for nuclear war, yeah.
I mean, that has got to be the biggest drill for a country ever in all of mankind, 40 million people. And then Putin is ordering all Russian citizens living abroad, going to school. He said, forget it. Don't worry about your school. Get back to this country right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, that was telling me one thing. That get out of the United States, get back home, because this is the safest place on earth to be.
Right.
Not that we need the manpower. No, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, you are my people. You're Russian people. And everybody talks so badly about Putin. So what? He's a tough guy. He's a tough ruler, tough leader of his country. I wish we had a tough leader in our country that didn't take crap. You know what I'm saying? That didn't bend over.
Right.
That would show some force, show some backbone. So that is what I'm reading out of Putin's statement for his people to get back to his country, because I believe he thinks it is safer for them. And if the man didn't care, he would have never made that statement. He'd just say, okay, stay where you're at. You stay where you're at. And that's more food and water for us here in this country. Right. But he didn't.
And
he ordered them back to their country.
Right. And you touched on them going into bunkers. And what you just said now, I actually had an article prepared to talk about on the show. It says Vladimir Putin issues emergency call to all Russians to return home amid world war fears. Now, Russia's Vladimir Putin has issued an emergency decree that all officials urgently and their family members living abroad amid fears the world is about to be plunged into a global conflict. Now, according to the reports, the Russian leader, as soon as this ad closes, the Russian leader has told diplomats of all ranks to bring relatives home to the motherland. Administration staff, politicians, and public sector workers have been ordered to take their children out of foreign schools immediately. The Russian political analyst told the Daily Star this is all part of the package of measures to prepare elites to some big war. Now, to get to Gil Broussard talked about that this debris field that's going to be coming in, that we're going to be going through, that when the Earth stops its rotation, like you said it would, for 8 to 12 hours, we're going to have one side of the nation in darkness, and we're going to have one side of the planet in light. And it's been verified, like back when Joshua was fighting Israel, and God told Joshua to command the sun to stand still, and it did. And Gil Broussard found ancient Chinese writings where that side of the earth was in 12 hours of darkness. Now, you remember he made the statement that they know that this is coming in, but they were unaware that the earth would stop. And they were thinking that it may come in over Russia, but if the earth stops, then that means it will be coming in over the United States. Do you remember when Gil Broussard was talking about that?
Absolutely. I have seen almost every interview that man has been on.
Okay, so, with him saying that, and then you talking about this debris field that we're going to be going through, could it be that Putin is calling the people home because Putin is aware now that it is going to be America that's going to be blasted with these meteors that are coming in?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just finished listening to part 7 of the Nibiru Channel interview on the Front Porch Radio Show on iHeartRadio. Stay tuned for the next in the series. I'd like to thank all of our Nibiru watchers. You guys do a fantastic job. Would also like to thank you for your loyal subscribership. You can continue to email your photographs and your video to NibiruPlanetX2016@gmail.com. And don't forget to share our videos with your friends and family members on Facebook. And subscribe to the Nibiru channel for all of our current updates. And like I always say, keep an eye in the sky.